What's up guys, and welcome to today's video where I talk about the three main reasons I believe people are not successful with like e-commerce, dropshipping, Shopify, etc. And if you watched my channel before, you probably know that we do things like that on a somewhat regular basis. So me talking about common misconceptions and myths, etc. And these three things are very general things. So very important, very general. They're not like you use that particular product you try to sell in the general store. These are all things that are also important, but I talk about the top level of things, so why people are not successful with it. The first reason is that people oversimplify and just follow the crowd in whatever they are doing. And here's the thing, if you now hear about dropshipping, if you say that, okay, I want to build an e-commerce business, what you do is you go online, you watch some videos, and very quickly you realize, okay, there is something with this AliExpress method, and you know, this $5 Facebook ads method, and using Shopify to promote my products in a general store. So these are the things that you see immediately when you go online. Some of them you also see on the Shopify blog, Oberlo blog, etc. And what happens is that these are those methods that everyone advertises as a great thing. And what happens is that so many people jump onto them, they do exactly what is shown there, and they don't even think about it, right? So they don't even think about how to improve it or how to do something different. They just jump on, okay, I need AliExpress, okay, I need a Facebook ad account, I need to invest like $5 per day, do some video ads, do some PPE, then do retarget, mature my pixel, and all those blah blah that you hear everywhere. And this is a very problematic thing, because if you think about it, why would you do something where 95% of people are not successful with anyway? So if you think about it, yes, 95% of people, let's say, use AliExpress in the dropshipping game, right? But at the same time, like probably 90% or 95% of them are not successful. So it cannot really be that AliExpress is so important, because if so many people fail, they're doing something wrong. And of course it doesn't mean that they're picking the wrong supplier, that they're using the wrong traffic source, but it means that what they do is also not ideal. So why should you do the same thing? Why do you have to use AliExpress? Why do you have to use Facebook ads the way they do it? And this is a very big thing. Many people think that dropshipping can be like broken down, or e-commerce in general, I always talk about dropshipping, but it's actually e-commerce, can be broken down into like this method of how to do that. And if you follow this recipe, and if you bring some money, then at some point you will just be successful. And this is 100% not the case, because you have hundreds of thousands of people who are in the same game and they follow the same method. So in the end, it kind of comes down to luck. And I know people don't really like to hear this, you know, luck, oh no, entrepreneur and work and whatever, luck is not important. But if you advertise the same products in the same type of store with same ads, of course it doesn't come down to like your skill if you do just the same things, right? If you test 10 products, if the other person tests 10, the other person tests 10, it doesn't really matter like how you research the product. At some point then it's really about finding that winner immediately, and if you did, that's great and you are able to scale and probably you make 10,000 sales. But if you happen to not find that winner, and as I said, this can be pure luck, then this doesn't work. And this is why I believe people should think about different techniques. So the way I approach a new e-commerce business is then I first think, okay, what is a good niche? Like what is something that either interests me or is something where I believe there is demand but not that much supply. Just some niche where I believe it's something that I can build something cool in. And then I think about like, okay, what are the best traffic sources for that? Should I use Google ads, which I like the most? Should I use Facebook ads, Instagram, influencers, or a mix of these? So I really think about what should I do first, the next, how does my store have to look like? How can I launch, constantly optimizing everything. And you can even do things entirely different, right? You don't have to set up a simple store and then have the general store and sell. You can, for example, create some exclusive membership club or something like that. So the point is, it's not only limited to changing the traffic source, it's basically that you should question every single part of the e-commerce business, from which shop system you use to which suppliers, which kind of business, which traffic sources and everything, because none of these things are actually given and none of these things mean that you will have the highest chance of succeeding. Take us as an example with our affiliate beginnings, where our first store we built on affiliate marketing in the beginning and hit 6 figures before we actually started with Facebook ads and Google ads, etc. So the second point is treating it as a real business, and this is something that I also see a lot. Like people ask me, hey Marco, do I have to pay like taxes in e-commerce? And do I have to pay taxes when I dropship? And do I have to do this? And I'm like, well, of course, it's a business like any other business. And people still, for some reason, believe that it's a method, a secret way that people just didn't find yet. And they sit there like, okay, I do dropshipping, so I'm a special guy. And for some reason, dropshipping is the best business in the world. But they don't realize that it's just like a way of fulfilling your products, right? Dropshipping is not some magic trick. It's not some magic method that is popular and this is the best business in the world. It's just a form of sending products to your customers. And there is nothing like super fancy about it. It's not super easy. It's not like hidden. Everyone knows about it. And so when people come and don't treat it as a real business, which means you should really think about what you do. You should kind of invest time. You cannot expect to do it in like 2 or 3 weeks and be successful. You cannot expect to do it with $50 in your pocket. I know there are free traffic sources, etc. But in general, if you want to build a successful e-commerce business, typically you cannot expect to do that without an appropriate budget. So if you don't do these things, treat it like a real business by applying all those different things, thinking long-term, etc., it will not work. So whenever I come across people that are like, hey, I have 3 weeks of time and I need $10,000, I thought that I'd try this dropshipping thing, right? And I'm like, yeah, well, you may try, but you probably lose more than you have right now. So the point is, if you don't see where you want to go with your business, and if you don't have like half a year or 1 year or 2 years or something to dedicate to it, then this most likely won't work. And I know that if you follow this like $10 Facebook ads every single day and just testing, at some point you just run out of budget. And this is the reason why you should also do other things instead of just the simple testing and following the method, because then at some point you don't have the money anymore. So this is why you should think about multiple tactics that you can use and bring your business forward, etc., etc. And then also you can work on it in the long term, and this will then definitely make more sense. And the third part, and I don't really know how I should describe this, but it's like listening to the wrong people or listening to success stories that are no real success stories or anything related to that. Because I see that many people are kind of blinded by the success of people. You know, you have a Facebook group and there someone posts a screenshot, hey, I made $50,000 in sales last week, and everyone goes crazy and is asking like questions. How did you do that? Which traffic source did you use? Do you use Shopify? As if it was a huge achievement to make sales for 1 week. Now, I don't want to say that 50,000 in a week isn't awesome. It's great, and of course it's a crazy achievement in a way that you make that much money in this short period of time. But it doesn't mean that you are an e-commerce expert. It doesn't mean that you understood the market and that you are now an expert, because literally all it takes to make 50K in a week, of course it's still unlikely, but it's possible, is to find a great winning product. So if you go ahead, you test the product, you find out it's a winner, you increase your budget, you increase it again and again and again and again, and at some point you really, you had that one winner that just came out of nowhere, you were the first to advertise it, you just scaled and you hit that 50,000. Now it's unlikely, but it happens. I know students and I also know clients to whom exactly that happened. And this doesn't qualify you as the uber expert and guru to tell everyone, and everyone is looking up to them and they think, okay, it's so easy, I can do it myself. They just made 50K. Let me know, teach me more, let me know what you did. And the point is, how can someone like this really help you with e-commerce in general, right? Because if this happened, he's like, yeah, well, I tested a product and it turned out to be a winner and then I scaled it, right? But they believe there was some secret tactic, some secret hack, and they think that, okay, because this guy made that much money in a week, there must be something that he really, really knows that I don't, so teach me everything. And I think this is a very big reason why people fail, because they get drawn to those persons and they follow them, and they change their strategy all the time, because then this person tells them something different and this person now has a different success story, and they listen to everyone, and in the end they're not following those things that actually have an impact. Now, I'm not saying that I know all the answers. I can just say that I'm in this game for like 4 years now. I've worked with dozens of clients and students and had multiple stores myself, also sold on Amazon, etc., which doesn't make me like the best e-commerce expert in the world. But I saw several trends. I saw businesses go to 7 figures and then fall down completely. I've worked with people in all kind of verticals, so I kind of have an idea of what tends to work, and you know, how some best practices on how to move forward, etc. Because I didn't just have this one thing, 10,000 in a week, in a very short period amount of time, in a very short time frame, and then I believe that I know everything because I was successful for 2 weeks or something, right? This is the big point. People don't really see that. They don't realize that it doesn't really matter in this short time frame, and they should listen to advice where they can actually believe that it's more generic and can apply to them as well, and not just to individual small situations. Now, I hope that this made sense. The third point was a little hard to explain because it covered multiple areas in my opinion, so I hope that you still got it and understood what I actually meant with that. But these were the 3 points I think have the biggest impact on people actually not succeeding in dropshipping, e-commerce these days, especially now with more and more competitors getting on every single day. And yeah, I hope that you got something of value out of here today. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. Of course, also subscribe to this channel for more info about e-commerce and how you can actually succeed in this busy environment. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope that you got something out of here today, like I said, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye bye.